members of industry present here today. Shri Ravidendra Isi aujourd'hui. And as I've mentioned to His Excellency that the relationship between France and Lord go back centuries. The fabric that is woven across the world today is built on threads and the warp and weft of threads of commerce and economics. For the warp and weft of the relationship of the threads between North and France are much deeper than that. They cover generations. They transcend economic relationships. They are philosophical and they are emotional. And for Lord, it is the weight and value of that relationship upon which we build an economic relationship that is mutually beneficial to both countries. For Lord, it is extremely important that any step we take obviously must be in our interest, but also must have positive externalities and reverberations in France. And I think if that is the genesis of a relationship between peoples, between countries, and that represents the seeds of growth, then the trunk of that tree will be an extremely solid base on which both countries will blossom. "27 years ago, we established a strategic partnership with France. The first ever with any country across the globe. And that speaks to the genesis and the history that I mentioned. We celebrated 25 years of that strategic partnership in 2023. Prime Minister Modi was in France. We put together a 25-year horizon vision for the relationship between France and London. There have been cultural exchanges. There's been a Namaste India festival that was celebrated in France. Both our countries together have put together an international solar alliance, the foundation of which today over 115 countries have joined. That speaks volumes of our relationship. And I think that it's on the basis of that relationship that we have crossed every paradigm from cultural to education to defense, security, whether it's our Orion exercises or air exercises. I've recounted to His Excellency about the relationship that I share as the head of the Gwalior family with France. The fact that the Mirage 2000 base is in my city, brought there by my father. And so therefore relationships have crossed the span of time. But relationships need to be renewed. Relationships need to be invested in. Just like any human relationship. It's no different. And I must thank our companies from France that have believed in India. Over 1,000 companies today are invested in India from France. Over $10.84 billion worth of FDI. Over 450,000 jobs that have been created across multiple spheres. But today I introduce to you the next rising star on the firmament of not India, but all of South Asia, all of the global South. And that is the 8 states of the Northeast, the 7 sisters and Sikkim. A region that has been catapulted with the Prime Minister's vision of Purvodaya, the new sunrise for India. And mind you, a lot of you may not be aware, because I certainly was not aware before I became donor minister, that this area of the world has been the cradle of transformative trade routes from all of Southeast Asia to the rest of the world for the last 2,000 years. We share 6,500 kilometers of a boundary with myriad nations. If you take a compass and put it on the point of Guwahati or Tripura and do a circumference of a 3-hour flying time, you'll surely touch a Chennai or a Mumbai or a Bengaluru, but you'll equally touch a Bangkok or a Singapore or a Jakarta, or even to the border of the last islands in the Indian Ocean prior to hitting the coasts of Australia. And the Indian government under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi has realized that potential. And therefore, we've invested $80 billion over the last decade in these 8 states. $8 billion of railway projects alone. We had 9 airports in the Northeast 10 years ago. We have today 17 airports in the Northeast. 10,000 kilometers of highways. Today we have 15,000 kilometers of national highways. Telecom infrastructure being built out across every village in the Northeast to provide 100% saturation. Looking at connecting the Northeast to the rest of the world. As Civil Aviation Minister, I granted the routes from Agartala to Chittagong, from Imphal to Mandalay. Today we are building the Kaladan highway, which will connect from Manipur all the way down to across Moray into the port of Chittagong, and from there goods can be transferred to Chennai. We are building the IMT, India, Myanmar, Thailand trilateral highway. And therefore the opportunities there are immense. All of you are a believer in India's growth story. And if you are a country that's growing between 7 to 8.5% on a decadal basis, CAGR, lifting 250 million people out of poverty, transformed itself into almost a $4 trillion economy, $5 trillion by 2028, $6 trillion by 2030. Then the astonishing fact is that whilst out of 36 states, 28 are growing thereabout, some lower than that rate, some a little higher. It is these 8, the 7 sisters and Sikkim, that are growing at between 11 to 13% per annum. So if you think that India is a railway train, the engine of that train today is the Northeast. And many of you are already there. Total Energy is there, looking at solar. Decathlon is there. Many of your companies are already present in the Northeast. But I'd like to take many more, because the growth opportunity today is in the Northeast. Whether you look at agriculture, France has a huge history of dairy, livestock. Tremendous value addition can be done there. You look at the area of IT. Today, one of the first fabs that are being built in India at a cost of $4 billion by the Tata Group is being built in Assam. Largest data centers are being set up in the Northeast. You look at renewable energy. Hydro alone has a capability, having been power minister in my last life. Hydro alone has a capacity of 100 gigs in the Northeast, of which only 5 gigs have been exploited today. And so for solar, so for wind, so for biomass. Tourism. Accor Hotels is a wonderful group within the French umbrella. Capability there is tremendous. Textiles. France today is known for its capability. Handloom, handicrafts, products, Hermes, Chanel, so on and so forth. The quality of textile, and now a lot of it is going towards sustainability. Chanel has stopped producing any crocodile bags. So we have in the Northeast Eri silk, which is ahimsa silk, non-violent silk. Doesn't kill the worm when you make the silk. We have Muga silk, which is the golden silk. Largest producer of bamboo. Tourism is another huge opportunity. Sports. We're mad about soccer in the Northeast. His Excellency's First name. Thierry, if we bring him, the former French captain, to the Northeast, we have our good old Bejung Bhatia. Can have an exhibition match, set up football, soccer camp, training institutes. If you look at our sports, men and women who have performed on the Olympic podium, I dare say that a majority of them are from the Northeast. So opportunities abound, and I want all of you to participate in these opportunities to your benefit. Of course, it will be to the benefit of the local people as well. My friend Remy and I, in my past life as Civil Aviation Minister, have worked extremely hard in terms of bringing Airbus's investment into India. I'm so proud today, C295 is going to be produced in Vadodara. And I want him to do more. Equirel helicopters coming to India. He's already sourcing over $1 billion worth of product from India. But there's much more that can be done. And today I stand and sit before you to invite you to the Northeast. I have had dialogues with each and every Chief Minister as an advisor and a facilitator. That's my role. When we talk about warp and weft, if you take the states on an x-axis and all of you on the y-axis, that's the conjunction I have to bring about. That's my job. So I've told His Excellency, I'm at his service, I'm at your service, I'm at the state's service. I've had very detailed meetings with all 8 state chief ministers and their full government in terms of the opportunities, a SWOT analysis for every state. What is it we need to do on a national basis, on an international basis? Where are our comparative advantages? Michael Porter's 5 forces theory. So we are working in a very professional way. Secretary, myself, our full ministry, as a facilitator. And so I'd like to invite you all. My job is to make your investment seamless. And we are a one-stop shop for you. Whatever you need to get done, we are the nodal ministry. Yes, Agarwood. Oud. Source is Agarwood, of which we have a gold mine. And it's literally gold. I have no clue. 1 ounce of Agarwood is worth much more than gold and silver. And we have so much of potential in the Northeast of this product. We've just increased the export quota for Agarwood, almost 10-fold or 15-fold. And so there are myriad opportunities that you can take part in. So I want to lay out the investor carpet for you. I don't want to say it's red or it's blue, but we are there for you to service you and to assist you. And so with those words, I'd like to end with a French philosopher Henri Bergson once said, "L'avenir n'est pas ce qui va arriver, mais ce que nous allons faire." The future is not what will happen, but what we make of it. So come with us. Let's make the future for the Northeast and for France. Thank you very much.